Hello, and in this video, what I'm going to talk about is the Alex Belfield. I mean, so many people have popped on with their opinion that I thought, why not? I should do mine as well. Followed the chap over the last 2.5 years, and yeah, he's gone to prison. And I want to give my my overall opinion on that situation as well, because the reason I'm doing this is that I think there's learning points for you, me, and the country as a whole. I've made some notes because I want to make sure I don't miss anything out, right? So I'm calling this what am I calling it? The rise, the fall, and the return of Alex Belfield. Why? Because do I think the guy will return? Yes, I do, and it all will become clear in due course. And what I would say is, before I start this video, is you have a right to an opinion. I have a right to opinion. We should listen to each other's opinion. And if we disagree, we should do it respectfully rather than insult each other and so forth. Okay? So here we go. Be cautious what you comment, of course. Be cautious how you comment, I should say, as well. Now, the rise of Alex Belfield. There was no doubt that Alex Belfield's story was one of grand success. This is a guy that, as I understand it, he lost his job from the BBC, ended up in his mother's back bedroom, had a personality, got his iPhone out, started doing videos. Thousands of people loved it. And guess what? They subscribed to his channel, and he ended up with, what was it, about 370,000 people pretty quickly in all, right? And then the rest is kind of history, I suppose, in terms of how he built this empire up. There's one thing, in terms of the rise of Alex Belfield, people loved was his down-to-earth, and I think what I used to quite like, well, I do like about Alex Belfield, is that he talked about how he was brought up on a pit estate. He was very, and and he never forgot his roots. He was grounded in that, and that was quite probably, and I relate to it, one of the reasons why he connected with his audience. So many people related to him. Also, in the rise of Alex Belfield, let's not forget this. Alex Belfield was responsible for putting smiles on thousands and thousands and thousands of people's faces. And he did that not in a way all the time where he was slagging everybody off. He did it through him being him. And, whether it was on a train station and a train come past and he'll say, oh, I nearly got sucked off. You know what I mean? It was that sort of humor that people love. So he did create laughter. He created fun. He put smiles on people's faces. And the support, let's not forget, in the rise of Alex Belfield, a lot of it was done during lockdown. He actually helped thousands of people get through lockdown without falling into a depression. Their own depression, right? He helped lots of people. And the one thing that I really, really liked about Alex Belfield during that time was how he also championed the access of families to be able to see residents in care homes, something that's very close to my heart. And I really welcome that. And he was part of the reason that, even for me, that I was able to manage that lockdown torture at times. The one thing with Alex Belfield as well, in terms of his rise to his online stardom, was that he also delivered news in a way that ordinary folk, down-to-earth people, could understand and would chuckle at the same time. The rise of Alex Belfield was massive. And, that is to be wholly respected for many, many reasons. But, and the but is coming, B-U-T, block, capital letters. Let's move to the fall. The problem with Alex Belfield, I believe, and the reason why he's now in prison, is that he went too far. He crossed a line where it affected people, certain individuals, to a detriment. And the one thing, what have I got here? The line crossed by targeting individuals too intensely. Correct. Where Alex went wrong, I believe, is that he targeted certain individuals and never let it drop. Never let it drop. To the point where it affected certain people's emotional, psychological, and physical health. And you know what? When it does that, that becomes a real issue. And I think that is a real learning point for you, for me, and for the country in terms of, yes, have opinion, but do not cross that line. Secondly, you cannot continue to harass an individual as he did with some people by email, by video, and by tweeting and social media commentary. And thirdly, to encourage other people to do the same, of course, is wrong. It's very wrong. And I think that is something, again, that you need to be aware of. I need to be aware. We all need to be aware of. Not that I've done that, but I'm sure you haven't either. But we need to remember that, yes, there is a line. And if you cross that line, you're going to get yourself into some very, very scorching hot water. Maybe he was unaware of what he was doing. I don't know. Who knows? But what we do know from the judge's summary of sentencing is that the line was crossed. Yeah. And for that, and we know that Alex, in the pre-sentencing statement, also made it clear that he is sorry, he apologizes, and he did show remorse. So he's actually accepting it. He's accepting that he did do that. And for the victims, they deserve, right? They do deserve, what's the word I'm looking for? That kind of redress. Is it redress or whatever? He was in the wrong, right? He was in the wrong doing that. The one thing I want to say, though, about Alex Belfield on this point is that I did read on some social media platforms that he was homophobic as one thing. Now, listen, as a gay man, I can tell you now from my perspective, I never, ever once found Alex Belfield, for me, as a homophobic individual. Because during the time of my very, very limited engagement with him, especially around lockdowns and all of that, I did not sense that at all. I've got to be honest. Other people may have, and they say they did. For me, I didn't. But what's going to happen in the future? Now, I personally think Alex will struggle with prison, the character that he is. Although he may have gone into prison and he may have thousands, hundreds of fans in there. Who knows? If Alex survives prison and is still here in 2.5 years or whatever it is he serves inside the prison, I think he will return. And there's a few reasons for that. The first one is people want him. Okay, thousands of people want him. He did wrongs. Yes, I know he did. All right. So don't be saying that, oh, Steve Miller's saying that, he's supporting what he did. No, I'm not. So keep your gob shut on that one. Right. What I am saying, though, if you put those wrongs aside, there are thousands of people that want him, and they want him because of what he gives back to them. He delivers laughter, entertainment. Yes, it should not be consistently at the expense of individuals. I understand. I get it. I agree. But he does put smiles on people's faces, and he does support individuals a lot, right? You can see that, when I used to watch what he was saying and look at how he was doing it, you could tell that he had a heart. You can tell that he cared. You can tell that he loved people. I love you, and there's nothing you can do about it was one of his catchphrase lines, or whatever it's called, right? So actually, I do think people want him. Secondly, do you know what's going to help him? This, I guess you could call it a pile-on at the moment of this sort of stuff, calling him names and slagging him off and all of that sort of stuff. Yes, he did wrong. He did a lot of stuff right. He did a lot of stuff. Well, yeah, he did right. He did wrong. That's what I'm saying, right? There is a way of expressing thoughts and feelings about the wrongs that he did. And he did, right? But the emotive kind of pile-on that is not constructive will not harm him. It will help him, because his name will continue to be talked about and talked about and talked about. So I think actually the pile-on will actually support him in the end in terms of his coming back, because people get bored of pile-ons as well. People start to question the pile-ons. So I think that's another reason that he will return. Thirdly, if he doesn't do what have I put here? Bear with. If he doesn't prison Yeah, I actually think that Alex Belfield, if he doesn't die in prison, will return with more resilience. That's the sort of character I believe he is. And because he will have thousands of people actually wanting his return, his kind of family of supporters, who I know have been called a cult. Well, actually, that language doesn't really help very much. Yeah, those are real people you're talking about. They're people that he helped, people he supported, people he helped to smile during the dark times. I don't think that helps very much. But those people want him, and that pool of people enormous pool of people will not forget him. So I wanted to deliver in my video a balanced, fair, what I believe is a balanced and fair summary of Alex Belfield. What do I call it? The rise, as I've explained, how he went from the mother's back bedroom, having been, I don't know, lost his job or whatever, to building right up and actually, yes, helping lots and lots of people, to his fall, which is where he did wrong, where he harassed people, certain individuals, and he crossed a line. We must never, ever do that to the point where it affects people's physical, mental, and emotional well-being. And the return, where I absolutely do believe that Alex Belfield will absolutely return. And if he was here now or watching in, I'm sure he'd do that right thing that he used to do. Again, made me laugh. You know, I think we have to take a deep breath and we have to realize he did a lot of good. He got some stuff completely wrong and significantly wrong. But he will be back. I believe that. Okay. So do feel free to comment below. Remember to keep your opinions. They are your opinions. I respect you have opinion. Let's not do what a lot of people do, which is share an opinion with insults, individual insults to certain, personal insults, which sometimes people are tempted to do. I think we all need to bear that in mind. On that note, feel free to comment, subscribe to this channel, which is, I'm still getting into it, and there you go. That's my Alex Belfield report. On that note, I could say, well, I will. I love you. There's nothing you can do about it, as he used to, which I thought was very lovely, and I think we've all learned a lesson when it comes to media and what you put out there. Okay, on that note, lots of love. Ta-ra for now.